I said on Friday that if Neal Brown doesn't cover the spread, which was 7 points, against a bad Iowa State offense, West Virginia should leave him on the tarmac a la Lane Kiffin USC. Now, I didn't really mean that because it's a douche move, but in all seriousness, when does this end? Like, when does all this come to an end? It's not working for Neal Brown and West Virginia. It hasn't worked for Neal Brown and West Virginia. It is not going to happen for Neal Brown at West Virginia. When do we put this to bed for everybody and just say, you know, Neal Brown seems like a great guy. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He seems like a really good man, a good father. I mean, he just comes across that way. But Neal Brown, in his 4th season now, is 20-24 overall and 12-20 in Big 12 play in year 4. And don't tell me you can't win in year 1. Look at Sonny Dykes at TCU. Never mind year 4. So you have trusted the climb if you're a West Virginia fan. I admire that. The West Virginia fan base, to its credit, I believe overall, has stood behind Neal Brown longer than most fans. Disciplined. And when you're a coach and you've got the team that is the most penalized team in the Big 12 with West Virginia is with 57 penalties on the season, and you're a bad team. It's not like you got all these stars and you got a ton of talent and you're high flying and you're all over the field, but sometimes guys get dinged for a penalty here or there. It's a bad team that's also sloppy and undisciplined. And they go on the road, and they've been embarrassed on the road this year in the Big 12. They lost to Texas by 18. That game was 28-0 in the blink of an eye. They got blown out in Lubbock 48-10. And they lost yesterday to Iowa State 31-14, an Iowa State team that couldn't put together a couple of touchdown drives to save its life all season long. They couldn't rush for 100 yards in a game if there were 10 defenders on the field. Iowa State puts up 170-some-odd yards on the ground against your defense. And offensively, I really thought that Graham Harrell would bring a little bit of intrigue to this offense. JT Daniels, Graham Harrell, I thought that was going to be a nice combination. It hasn't worked. It hasn't panned out that way. Level of college football and every conference it's been a part of in college football. They've been in the mix. So I wish Neal Brown well. He seems like a great guy, but this is not working. And it is time for everybody to move on. It really is. I'm Pete Mundo on HeartlandCollegeSports.com covering the Big 12.